When the church goes wild, John 4, and the return of true spirit worship. Peace to everybody watching. Today I want to deal with something that has been stirring in the culture, stirring in the church world, and stirring in the spirit. You've probably seen the comedian Druski doing these parody skits about how the church has gone wild. And what's interesting is this. A lot of these megachurch pastors are offended. They're uncomfortable. They don't find it funny at all. But the question is why? Why does satire hit them so hard? Why does a joke shake an institution? Why does a comedian expose what a pulpit refuses to admit? The answer is simple. When the performance becomes the religion, exposure feels like persecution. And that's why I went straight to John, chapter 4, verse 20 through 24. Because Jesus already spoke about this moment. He already described the shift we're living in right now. He already told us that a time was coming when the institution would lose its monopoly on worship. Let me read it. Jesus said, "The hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit." Now listen to that. Jesus didn't say the Father seeks worshipers with a building. He didn't say the Father seeks worshipers with a stage. He didn't say the Father seeks worshipers with a brand, a logo, a live stream, or a marketing team. He said the Father seeks worshipers in spirit and in truth. That means the authority shifts from the institution to the individual, from the stage to the spirit, from the performance to the practice, from the megachurch to the remnant. And this is where hoodoo spirituality comes in. Not the caricature, not the superstition, not the Hollywood version, but the real thing. The ancestral, spirit-led, truth-rooted practice that existed long before the institution tried to regulate worship. Hoodoo has always been about spirit and truth. It has always been about lived testimony, obedience, remembrance, and alignment. It has always been about the God who meets you where you are, not the God who waits for you to enter a building. So when Druski does a parody, he's not attacking God. He's exposing the gap between what Jesus taught and what the institution became. He's showing the difference between worship and performance, between spirit and spectacle, between truth and theatrics. And the reason the megachurch world gets uncomfortable is because satire reveals what the spirit has been saying for years. The show is not the spirit. The hype is not the anointing. The lights are not the glory. The crowd is not the remnant. Jesus told the Samaritan woman, "You won't worship on this mountain or in Jerusalem." In other words, the location won't matter. The institution won't matter. The tradition won't matter. The performance won't matter. What would matter is spirit. What would matter is truth. What would matter is authenticity. What would matter is alignment. So yes, the church has gone wild, but not because of a comedian. The church went wild when it traded spirit for spectacle. The church went wild when it replaced truth with theatrics. The church went wild when it became a brand instead of a body. And now we're living in the hour Jesus spoke of. The hour where the Father is seeking true worshipers. The hour where spirit-led people rise outside the institution. The hour where ancestral wisdom is restored. The hour where hoodoo spirituality, the real God-centered, spirit-rooted practice, becomes visible again. This is not rebellion. This is restoration. This is not disrespect. This is realignment. This is not comedy. This is confirmation. So if you feel the shift, you're not crazy. If you feel the call back to the spirit and truth, you're not alone. If you feel the pull away from performance and back toward authenticity, you're right on time. Because the hour cometh, and now is, and the Father is seeking you.